Hey, this is Parker. Making this video to update you, beep, beep, on my life currently. I've had an interesting week. I had my first trans bashing, um, very public trans bashing this week. And I'm not talking behind your back, sort of people are saying things and you're finding out, or somebody says something without realizing that it's hurtful. I'm talking like somebody purposely tried to, mentally harm me. Not like that's, the first time that's ever happened in my life, but it's certainly the first time it's ever happened because I'm a trans person, which I find extremely bizarre because I came out very, very publicly well over a year ago, and I didn't have any shit from anybody. So I got lucky. So you all know how it is. This person is obviously going to remain nameless because I'm not even sure what their name is, although I did know them and we were Facebook friends for a while. Very, very strange incident. I'm not going to talk too much about it because that just gives them more satisfaction. Um, Basically, what it did is it definitely helped me see a lot of things that I couldn't see before. I was able to see who was really supportive of me and who wasn't, and it turns out everybody was supportive of me except for this one completely insane person. They commented on some stuff, and they insulted me as a person in my life, told me that I'm not a man because I don't have a penis. I'm not even going to say how wrong that statement is. I mean, try telling that to a cisgendered man who's been in a horrific skiing, boating, rowing, climbing, sawing, fishing accident and lost his genitalia. Try telling him that he's not a man. Try telling anybody that they're not a man who identifies as male. It doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. It's just stupid. It's pure stupidity at its best or worst. But after all of that, I received like boatloads of messages on Facebook from people that were like, "Hey, don't listen to this craziness. We got your back. We completely support what you're doing. Just don't let it bother you." And you know what? I needed that. I needed that confirmation from the people that I associate myself with because I don't feel like I had that before. Now I know that what I'm doing, a lot of people find it, kind of look at me as in a different light. Somebody who's doing something courageous, and I never really see myself as courageous. I do what I have to do to be happy in my life and in my own skin. So I really appreciate the people that see me as something more than that. Um, it's it's definitely it's humbling. um, Anyways, I was going to say this person was so clueless about my life. They pulled that whole. I'm sure you guys have had this before. That whole look at your birth certificate, look at your name. They called me by my previous name, but they were so clueless about my life that they didn't even know what my birth name was. Like, go look and see what your birth certificate says. Like, it's not what you're telling me it says. So, again, I'm done talking about this. I just had to. I had to tell you the good and the bad about the trans bashing. I'm sure there's going to be so many more in the future, and that's cool because I know where I stand and I know where people in my life stand, and the people that matter, you know, have made it very clear what they think about me, and that's all I need. So, moving on from that, I sent an email to my father, who I didn't really know growing up. He, I guess he wasn't quite ready for a kid, and he ended up becoming a very successful doctor. I really look up to him, and despite him not being there and me only seeing him a couple times growing up, I'm proud to say that I'm his spawn. I really am. I mean, he's really made something of himself. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got a great life. He's got a couple stepkids that are pretty decent people. As far as I know, only met him a few times, but you know, he's a really nice guy, and I think we went 10 years without seeing each other, and one day I decided I was just gonna get in the car and drive and go to his house, which was about 12 to 14 hours away. It was far. But I left, and it took me 3 days to get there because we were driving in a snowstorm. We were in a little 1999 Mazda. We were on really rough, I'm talking rough roads, like windy and up and down, and we should not have been driving on those roads. But we went there, and I knocked on his door at I think we got there at 11:30 at night. A very secluded, not anywhere near a city, kind of off on a dirt road, in a little, I can't explain it, by a lake. It was nice, but anyways, I went there, and I guess, somebody shows up at your door and you're that far out. You're what the heck's going on? So, he answers the door with a rifle. But he recognized me right away, and, he let me in, and I kind of explained myself a little bit. Obviously, he thought I was nuts. Who wouldn't? I did that because I felt like I had to do something, because he's my dad. So, I kind of restarted the relationship. I did it because he's my dad, and I wanted him in my life. And I've seen him a few times since then, and he lives a lot closer now. Last time I saw him was around Christmas, but I hadn't explained the whole transition thing to him, and I was a couple months into therapy, so it wasn't quite so obvious. Now, if you knocked on my door, my voice has dropped an octave and a half, so it's not easy to keep this away from anybody anymore. I'm not going to. Why would I? But I have his wife on Facebook, and she's the sweetest lady ever. I don't know if he knew before I sent this email to him. I wrote this email and I sent it to him over a week ago, and I haven't heard back. And I'm hoping that he's just super busy, because I don't know. I just don't know what I would do if he didn't accept me, because I'm the same person. I'm just a guy, and that's it. So instead of a daughter, he has a son. That's all. That's all. That's all that's changed. But that's all I have to say about that. Yesterday, I went down to the government building in downtown Winnipeg, and I applied for my name change. So nobody can tell me to look at my birth certificate anymore. My name is changed. It takes a while to get through the system, so, it's changed, barring system procedures. Changed my name. I changed, I'm not going to tell you what it was before. Some people know, some people don't, but I'm not going to. It's just not me. I just don't want to even say it. I want to say goodbye to that. So my name is now Parker Aaron Reinhold Hatcher. I chose Parker because it's a very androgynous name, and I've always liked it. It just seems to kind of fit. I had all these other names, but none of them, I don't know. I just feel like a Parker. I've been Parker for, I guess, over a year now, and it's good. It's treating me well. So I chose Aaron because that's my father's middle name. He uses it as his first name. He's got a very ethnic first name. Even if he doesn't accept me, I'm okay with my decision, my choice to take his middle name as a sign of respect. And like I said before, despite everything, I'm still proud to be his only, as far as I know, his only child. Reinhold is my grandfather's name, and he was the male influence in my life for my whole life. My grandparents essentially raised me. I spent a lot of time with them, and my grandpa is a man that I absolutely adore and hold in the highest regard. He's worked his whole life. He had open heart surgery like almost 20 years ago, I think. Almost 20 years ago, yeah. And he's still around. He's still working. He should probably stop, but he probably won't. So probably work till he's gone. But yeah, I chose that because that name, it just means something to me. So obviously my last name, Hatcher, I didn't change that. I'm not going to. Although I thought about it for a while. Let's talk about healing. Everything's going good. I'm a little bit swollen still. My dog's scratching himself right in front of me. Is it really fun? Okay. Sorry. I talked about being distracted in my last video, and it still applies. I get distracted very easily. My nipples, I'm not going to show you because they're pretty gross. They're healing, but I did lose a little bit of the graft on this side, which is my right side. I don't know if it's going to be inverted or not. Yeah, I lost just a small bit, and I kind of expected to lose all of it. Even tattoos, I usually need to have them touched up once or twice before it's good. So I kind of saw it like that, and I expected to lose them. So I sort of come at, with that mindset in a lot of things that I do. I expect the worst, so you're not disappointed. I know that might be a dangerous way of thinking, but it seems to work. So they're healing, but they're gross and they're a little bit infected. I've been using antibiotic cream. I'm not on the oral antibiotics anymore. My incisions are healing. There were a couple spots that are still having trouble closing because that's where my skin moves the most. So that's just gonna stay the way it is until it's better. Upon removing my breast tissue, I discovered that I already have very pronounced pec muscles, so I'm just pecalicious. I just look really buff. Like, it's bizarre. Like, my arms are kind of scraggly. I haven't been able to lift yet since surgery. It's just been over a month now, but I'm gonna start again. Yeah, there's just this one spot right here, just that is really puffy all the time, but I'm definitely happy with it. That's all that matters. So I got a new amp. I haven't taken the tag off. It's a Fender Excelsior. It's got really lame swords on it, but that's not why I got it. I didn't get it for the lame swords. I got it because it's got a really nice tremolo and it looks very vintage, and I'm really into that, so. I've said everything I need to say. Goodbye.